Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at critical metals. It's another one of these rare earth stocks that seems to be quite well positioned to resume the rally that has taken a quite significant break, right? Since October 2025 we have been in this quite substantial correction that actually doesn't need to continue any lower, has fulfilled its minimum expectations, and we are looking for this overall trend to still continue the same way it would for other stocks in this sector like energy fuels, MP materials, and we actually just did a video on MP materials and we have covered energy fuels very recently as well. Now, on this chart, the structure is actually a fair bit more clear compared to MP materials because we can quite clearly identify a leading diagonal to be taking place in this movement to the upside, especially if this pattern is to succeed in forming this additional high within a wave 5. Now, the thing is, with such a structure, we only expect to build 3 waves within this as a wave 5 to the upside. It might be building more than that, it might be building something potentially even more bullish, but I'd be careful about that. And nonetheless, this structure seems quite promising. It has the potential to build a pretty promising structure even for a larger time frame perspective if it follows through within this idea of a wave 5 in white. But at this point, we do not really care about that too much. No, we go into the smaller time frame where we have a similar pattern with what we have on these other stocks within its sector. Then here I can identify an initial 5-wave move to the upside, and it seems the top has formed actually a little bit earlier. And this might actually mean one of two things. Either the timeline for this stock is a little bit more advanced, meaning the wave 2 correction could complete sooner than the rest of them, or potentially it might be a little bit delayed, where this wave 5 wouldn't have a top in place. Perhaps this was just the wave 3 top, we would now need a wave 4 correction and one more high within a wave 5 before having this initial 5-wave pattern. For practical purposes, fortunately, this doesn't matter too much. I trust this structure enough to consider a potential 1-2 setup in this area, and it is just another one of these opportunities we can identify within this sector that can be expected to generate a pretty decent movement to the upside, right? So, if we are to have the wave 1 top in place, we would be looking for a 3-wave correction into the support zone between $10.7 down to $7.8, and from this support area we are looking for at least another 5-wave move to the upside. This another 5-wave move to the upside is key because certainly we could be building a 5-wave pattern, but the likely portion of this uptrend is only going to be the next wave to the upside. If we manage to reach the ideal target for a wave 3, which I cannot provide right now because we do not have a bottom within the wave 2, but if we were to reach the ideal target, we could follow up with a wave 4 correction and look for a wave 5 with a little bit more confidence. But here we have to understand that, especially since we only expect 3 waves within this wave 5, the wave A could quite simply be formed of a 3-wave pattern itself. We could be building an A, B, C movement. This would be our wave A, and then we would get a wave B and a wave C, and the overall structure from a larger time frame perspective would remain completely intact. Now, without getting into too much detail, we can look at an internal structure in this area to form, of course, typically an A, B, C movement. With what we currently have in place, I could even see something like the wave C to have had a bottom in theoretically, but then we wouldn't have reached the area of support. So I am also looking out for a potential extension within a significantly larger 5-wave move to the downside within such a wave C. And yes, we will have to be a little bit more patient, we will have to give it some time to develop and rather focus on the levels of support rather than the actual count, because sometimes these corrections can become quite complex. The count can be even misleading at times, and they don't follow through exactly within our expectations. It's not rare that, for example, we might not even fulfill the entire 5-wave move down within a wave C. It might only build 3 waves down, in which case we might need to consider something like a WXY correction, but nonetheless, the wave 2 correction can bottom significantly earlier in such an outcome. Now, in terms of resistance for this as an internal wave 2, I would be watching up to the 78.6% retracement. I would be watching the levels up to $13.6 basically, where if we get a sustained break above that, well, we might need to be prepared for even a reset within this as a wave 1. Possibly a bottom, I find that rather unlikely, but we will have to wait and see how this further develops. To be honest, I might even consider the wave 1 has bottomed here, that the wave 2 has already topped and the wave 3 would be ongoing. And the weakness we see in these last few candles could even be suggesting to extend pretty directly lower. Not a must, but I find it rather favorable to even have already an internal wave 1 to the downside within this as a larger wave 3. But let's zoom out, let's give this structure some time to develop, and let's return when we have better clarity. For now, what is clear are the levels of support we are tracking. What we know is clear that below the 78.6% retracement, or at the very least a sustained break below it, would be strongly suggesting this setup will fail, that we would be extending to even lower prices within possibly this larger wave 4 in white, possibly something else. We do not need to concern ourselves with that at the moment. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.